Good morning, folks, and welcome to the Better Business Workshop. It's Tuesday, yay! So, picking up on yesterday's theme, who managed to get a business bounce back loan applied for yesterday? Quite a lot of chatter going on around the various business owners that we work with. I know some people who managed successfully to get an application in at 8 a.m. and had confirmation by 10 a.m. That was with Lloyds, I think. NatWest, I know some people got the preliminary applications in at 8 a.m. and didn't get the second email until this morning. So different banks doing different things, but certainly some activity going on now with the business bounce back loan. So, hey, just out of curiosity, in the comments, let us know if you managed to get an application and a confirmation submitted yesterday. Give us a comment, yes, and hashtag live in the comments. If you got an application in yesterday and haven't yet had a confirmation, give us a no and a hashtag live. Be interested to see. So we got somebody commenting up here. So who have we got in? Somebody saying good morning. Let's see what we've got. Oh, it doesn't say. It just says a Facebook user and good morning. So we don't know who that was. So let's hide that. All right. So interesting stuff going on with the bounce back loans. So give us comments. If you managed to get an application in, give us a yes in the comment and a hashtag live. And if you didn't get a confirmation, give us a no and a hashtag live. So today's topic, oh, by the way, tell us where you are. Would be great to know where you're watching from. So if you're watching in the local area, tell us that in the comments as well. Today's topic is the formula for change, adapting your business to the new normal. And I'm joined, you can probably hear him there in the background, if I can get this tech working. I'm joined by my colleague, Mark Miller. Hey, Mark, good morning. Great to see you. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm fresh off an evening applying to the HSBC for a loan. A very simple form, which I screwed up totally. So I put the wrong email address in, then realized I misspelt it after I'd applied, so I had to set up a new email account, and yeah, it took me to midnight. It should have taken me 3 minutes, but a really great system, I think. Really great system. It's going to give a lot of confidence.
I've heard it's very, very simple to go through the process.
It is hugely.
And I also heard that NatWest's email system had a total meltdown yesterday. Anyway, so Mark, so all of these folks are going to be applying for these bounce back loans, and they're going to be investing it in their new normal, right? So let's talk about what that new normal is going to look like and how we start to move towards it. If I can get this working, let me press some of these buttons. Oh, look, we've got some slides. Yay! So we're talking about the formula for change.
Yeah.
So Mark, tell us, how do we start to build some inertia in our business?
Yeah, it's all about energy, isn't it? I don't know about the rest of you folks watching and getting involved in your own businesses, but having the energy to change stuff. Sometimes you just don't feel like it, and sometimes you just don't get that momentum. And getting the power and the energy to radically change stuff is even more adventurous. So we've got some thoughts on how to actually give yourself that kick up the backside sometimes that you need to grasp something and get going and get started with something. You got it in a formula, haven't you, Mark?
Yeah. We're going to come to the formula in a second. So the kind of the key components, Mark, first of all, is I guess you've got to be pretty dissatisfied to want change to happen in the first place, right?
Yeah, there's a huge element that I've realized through my life of people that don't change, don't get anything started because really they're actually quite happy. I mean, they say they're unhappy, they like complaining about that things aren't that good, and yet they're not unhappy enough, Mark, to actually do much about it. I've been there myself many times. Yeah. And honestly facing now, this formula is a really neat way of looking at it. So we have dissatisfaction, and V is your vision. V is the future. Dissatisfaction is where you're at the moment. And F, well, they're clear first steps. We'll talk a little bit about that before we get started, getting the steps clear. And Mark, do you want to explain this formula? Because all those together have got to overcome the resistance that we feel. Exactly. We all feel this like inertia, don't we? Like, I don't really want to change here. And then we'll run through each of those. So how does the formula work, Mark?
So basically everything that's on the left, then the greater than sign,
Yeah.
Has got to be bigger or greater than everything that's on the right. Your resistance to change, right? Which
Right.
is comfort zone, which is what you were touching on a minute ago. So look, if you can't kind of, if you're not completely, if you don't have a really high level of dissatisfaction, if you don't feel unhappy with how things are right now, then it's going to change. But by the same token, if you're not clear, if you don't like what you've got today, you need to be really, really clear in terms of where you want to go tomorrow.
Right. So if we look at that line where it says calculate, so if you scored your dissatisfaction about 3 out of 10, and you scored your vision about 5 out of 10, well, we've got 15 points there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
3 times 5, and then if we add our first steps are clear, 7 out of 10. So we have 15 points.
By first steps, by the way, we mean strategies, right? So so how many different strategies are we going to take? How many different actions are we going to take to make the change happen?
Yeah. Now it's pretty tough in the calculation line there, everybody. It says try and get more than 70. That'll give you enough energy. So if you scored 8 out of 10 on, I'm really dissatisfied, 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 on your vision. My vision's really clear. That's giving you 64, right? 8 8s to 64. First steps are clear, 7 out of 10. 64 plus 7, it's giving me 71. 71, I'm probably going to start doing something.
Something's going to start to happen because at the level you are sufficiently dissatisfied with how things are right now. You have enough clarity in terms of where it is that you want to go, your V.
That's it.
You are taking enough first steps to actually want to do something to initiate that change. And all of that together is greater than your resistance to that change.
Now we have to work on this. I'm going to talk about D and F. Maybe you can pick up V here, Mark, but I'll talk about D, dissatisfaction, just for a second. I was working with a guy last week, and he hasn't got enough dissatisfaction. It's tolerable where he is, so he's not taking the first steps. And I learned a while ago the biggest dissatisfaction method for me personally is to write down what I think is going to happen if I don't do anything. And actually, what's it going to be like in 5, 10 years if I don't do anything? Do I really want to get to the situation where I don't actually instigate anything? Not next week, because I feel a bit lazy at the moment. I feel a bit tired. But say 4, 5, 6, 10 years for me, for my family, for the people that care. Do I want to look back? The biggest regret, Mark, on a Tuesday morning of people who reach the end of their lives at the first thing in the morning, talk about the end of your life. But the biggest regret is stuff I didn't do. It's not stuff I did, it's stuff I didn't do. And so build up your D. Build it up by jotting down what it is that you're dissatisfied with now, and then think about it for a while, take some time. If I just stay like this, how dissatisfied am I going to be in years to come? That's to build up the D. Do you want a few words about the V, Mark?
Well, just before we go on to the V, kind of going back to the F. Too many people.
Okay, cool.
Too many people are sitting on the sidelines waiting for things to happen. Waiting things to happen to them. You talked about kind of looking back on your life with regret. That you didn't make things happen. What are you waiting for, guys? Get in the game, get on the pitch, go and score some goals, make stuff happen. And the V is just about having clarity in terms of where you want to go. What is it for your business? What is it that you want for your life? What is it that you want for your family? What's the clarity? For your business, what's your unique value proposition or your unique selling proposition? What is it that you're going to have? What's going to set you apart from your market? So, guys, Mark, formula for change: dissatisfaction out of 10, multiplied by the clarity of your vision out of 10, plus the first steps that you take, all have to be greater than your resistance for change, right?
Yeah, and one quick last thing, Mark. I know we're kind of running out of time now, but on your first steps, guys, it's just a question of getting simple stuff you're going to do tomorrow, the next day. Don't try and get it all done in one go. What do I do? A step at a time. When those clear first steps happen in your mind, then we start moving. So it's just starting to walk. Think about the mountain. Just put the rucksack on your back. That will get us started.
Take some steps. All right, folks. Look. We've been the Better Business Workshop. I hope that you found that useful. There's some ways that you can get in contact. We're here every day now from 8 a.m. So come and join us live. By the way, there's a ton of great content over in the, get the slide back up. There's a ton of great content over in our private groups on Facebook and LinkedIn. So look, come and join those business communities. Search in Facebook or LinkedIn, whichever is the preference, for the Better Business Workshop.
Yep.
If you'd like to come and talk to us more about what you've seen, then jump in a hot seat with us. It's completely complimentary. So you can book a hot seat with us, a 15 or a 30-minute session, by going to calendly.com/action coach Milton Keynes. We'd love to have a chat with you. And there's also a ton of content over on the YouTube and on our website as well. Just search for Action Coach Milton Keynes, Bedford and Northampton. Folks, it's been absolutely brilliant to see you today. Thanks so much for joining. Mark, it's been great to see you. I hope that those of you who are pursuing your bounce back loans, I hope that you managed to get them progressed today. I do know people that did get confirmation very, very quickly yesterday. Some of our clients have applied and had confirmation that funds are on their way in the next 48 hours. So if you haven't done it already and you need it, go and get it. If you want some help with how to do it, get in touch. Mark, we've been the Better Business Workshop live. Great to see you. See you tomorrow at 8 a.m.
See you tomorrow.